My name is Aaron Kusterer, and welcome to the Music Business Etiquette blog. This is a blog I started up about several years ago, I think, and right now it's primarily text-based, but I thought I would try something different and try out the video thing, and so I hope you guys dig it. This week's post is about 5 musician fails to never ever repeat. Hope you guys dig it. Let's get started. Number 1 is a refusal to acknowledge someone in a rehearsal because of a feud or something. I have seen this go down. It's a little strange, actually. It's really childish. Everybody has issues. Everybody gets into fights. But I've actually seen someone in the middle of a rehearsal physically turn the other way, away from the person that they were frustrated with, and refuse to acknowledge it. They won't even look at them. And just FYI, these are people that are probably late 30s, early 40s. And turns out later on, the individual that was frustrated didn't like taking orders from a woman. So I'll just leave it at that. Don't ever do that. Settle your issues outside of rehearsal and don't bring it in through that door. Number 2 is a failure to prepare your music for rehearsal with a month lead time. I have never seen it that bad before. I've never seen someone do something that bad. I've seen, preparedness issues, but this was a new one for me. The individual in question had a month to learn, handful of tunes, 10, 12 tunes, something like that, and came into rehearsal and hadn't learned them. Just hadn't learned them. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. That is an absolute career killer. Word will get around and you will not get hired. You will never get hired if you start doing that kind of thing. That is just not appropriate, ever. Number 3, never hit on your bandmates. This just isn't good. It doesn't ever end well. It always causes issues and it always makes things awkward. I remember one time where someone was warned upon bringing in someone else into the band. They were warned because of prior history, and they were told, don't do it, and they did it anyway. They did it anyway, and it caused issues. You just can't do it. I can think of that. I can also think of another instance where someone was drunk and decided that they were going to really forcibly hit on someone else within the group, and it was definitely unwanted, and it caused issues. You can't do that. You just can't do it. It destroys the bond between band members. It breaks things down. It destroys trust. It just causes issues. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else to to hit on folks or whatever. If that's what you really want to go do, okay. Don't go hunting in the band. You get hired to play music. You come in. You play music. You get along with folks. You don't go hit on folks in the band. You just don't. It doesn't ever end well. To be clear, before I move on, I'm not talking about pre-existing relationships. I'm not talking about a husband and wife that started up a group and then brought other people in, okay, and their relationship sits within the band. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not getting on that. That's a whole different ball game. I'm talking about getting hired and coming in and, hitting on other people in the band. Doesn't matter whether you're a guy or girl, just don't do it. Number 4 is never get into an argument on stage during a show. You just can't do that. That is a no-brainer, or should be a no-brainer. I think I mentioned something about this in last week's blog post, but I actually had an individual get up from their instrument, walk across the stage, and try to get into an argument with me. I have no words for that. That should be a no-brainer. You just can't do that. It's not that you don't bring up issues, but you can't do that on stage. You bring them up later. You got to work out your issues. That's part of being in any group of people or working with other people. That's part of being in a professional environment. There's a way to do it, a way to respectfully do it, and choosing the proper time and place. Okay, you got to work out your issues, but never ever do that on stage. And lastly, number 5 is never back out of a gig within a day or two's notice, just because you have something better to do. Accidents happen, emergencies happen, things like that, but just because you had something better come up, That's not cool. It was about 10 years ago, I think. We had a gig coming up. It was a paid situation, and I think it was about a day or 2 days, something like that. And person decided that they just weren't going to show up. They didn't want to do it, and they had something better to do. You can't do that. That destroys your reliability, destroys your credibility, and you won't get called back ever if you make it a habit to do that kind of thing. Even if you do that thing once, I'll be honest with you, if I were hiring someone and they did that to me, I probably wouldn't call them back. That would be pretty much, yeah, that'd be pretty much it. You leave me high and dry, and I'm probably not going to call you back. So, yeah, just stay true to your word and be reliable, and you'll have a much better career because of it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any fails that you would love to share, please do so in the comments below. I would love to read about them. It's always amusing and somewhat disheartening sometimes to read about and hear about what other things happen in the industry. But they happen, and we have to deal with them. And the best thing that we can do is learn from them and grow from them, and learn to not make make the same mistakes that other people do. So please share in your comments if you dig the post here, if you dig the blog. Be sure to subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if these videos end up working, if you guys end up digging them, I'll keep them coming. All right, see you guys next week.